Hi, welcome along. This is a meditation about self-acceptance. Self-acceptance means accepting ourselves for who we are at this very moment. It means relating to ourselves as we would to someone who we love and care deeply for. When we accept ourselves, we give ourselves permission to be human, to fail, to make mistakes, and to learn and grow. We accept our weaknesses rather than feeling somehow less because of them. Likewise, we accept our strengths, but do not feel superior because of them. Self-acceptance means that you allow yourself to be as you really are. I'd like you to ask you now to close your eyes, sit back, lay down, just relax, and just let your body fall into the seat. Relax into the seat. Try and focus your attention on your breath. Notice how your breath goes in and out. In and out. Allow yourself to do just that. Just breathe in and breathe out. Nice and slowly. There's nothing you need to achieve or become. In this meditation, you cannot fail or succeed. Just see how it goes. Simply breathe in and breathe out. Feel how the air flows through your nose, how your chest expands when you breathe in, how the air moves out when you exhale. Follow the breath like this for a few moments. Self-acceptance is about the self, but who is the self? Who are you? Let go and explore how your self developed. For this, I'd like to ask you to go back with me in time. Imagine the moment you were born, the moment you came to this planet as a little baby. You had no idea about right or wrong, no idea about anything really. You just were. You were looking at this world with brand new eyes. Try to visualize yourself as this little baby, as vividly as possible. Now imagine that someone would tell you, this baby, that you are not good enough yet, that you need to find a good job later in life, that you need to make enough money or become successful in order to be enough, that you would be worthy of love only if you were to become successful in the future, that you are not enough the way you are now, that something needs to be added to you, this baby, for you to become worthwhile. Can you imagine yourself saying to your own newborn child that it is not good enough yet? Perhaps you agree with me that it makes no sense to consider the worth of this new human being to be dependent on something that it may or may not become. Can you feel how enough you have been from the very moment you entered this planet? You've always been enough. You've always been whole, always been worthy of love. Love is not something you need to earn. It is your birthright. For a moment, allow yourself to see if you can feel the truth behind these words. Now let's slowly move into the future. You're no longer a newborn baby. You're a young child. As you mature, you learn about right and wrong, good and bad. Your parents teach you what it's like to be a good girl or a good boy. Soon you notice some things cause people around you to react more positively towards you. They praise you and they say that they're proud of you. Maybe you notice that when you work hard at school or help others, act kindly, get high grades or look beautiful, that you receive positive attention from others. Likewise, you learn that some things you do result in negative attention from others. Maybe you notice that when you fail at school, or hang out with the wrong crowd, or dress differently, that people react in a disapproving way towards you. Soon you learn that some things cause the people around you to approve of you, and perhaps even admire you. For a moment, being approved by others feels good. It feels as if you are good enough. It feels as if you are whole, that you are loved. How reassuring this is. However, this feeling does not last long. And you now need to make sure that after this moment of praise, you continue to get approval. It's like a drug. Once the effect is gone, you need more. And so you continue to do what will give you that feeling of relief, that feeling of being good or enough. Now I'd like you to think back to you as your youngest self that you can remember, and connect to this young person. Remember what it felt like to be you at this young age. This might take a little time, but just see how far back you can go. Try and connect to yourself as this child. Perhaps you're around 7 years of age, maybe 12, maybe older. How far back can you travel? It doesn't actually matter. All that matters is that you connect to yourself at that age. Now, have there been times in your few years of life where you've felt a need to be approved by others? If you can, allow yourself to go back to such a moment. What do you see? What do you feel? What are you doing to reassure yourself that you are enough? Just see what comes up. Now let's continue to move forward in time. As you grow older and become more mature, you continue to be exposed to a world in which you notice that there appear to be rules for a successful human being. Things that people need to do or become in order to be considered valuable or worthy. Depending on your environment, you may learn that things like money, status, appearance, intelligence, power and physical strength are all important. These things are important because they reveal information about your worth. For a moment, try to remember what it was like when you were a teenager or a young adult. Visualize yourself around this time as best you can. What was important to you at this age? What were you striving for? What did you believe made you worthy, successful, or enough? So far we've explored what we call your conditions for self-worth. Conditions for self-worth are those things that we believe make us lovable or enough. We strive for these things so that we can feel that we are loved unconditionally. Most people live in constant fear of being not enough, and as a result spend their entire lives trying to live up to the expectations and standards that surround them. These standards are conditions, and so we suffer from what we call conditional self-acceptance. We accept and love ourselves as long as we meet these standards. Okay, now come back to this present moment. Keep your eyes closed, but bring yourself back to where you are, sitting here in the room with my voice. Consider your current life. Are there standards that you've picked up during your life and that you're using to elevate yourself today? What are they? How do you know these standards are still influencing you today? How do you feel when you're not able to meet these standards? Imagine the little child inside of you, the child you once were, who was afraid of being unloved, that they might do something that will cause other people to disapprove of them. Now visualize this little boy or girl standing in front of you, looking back at you. Can you feel the child's fear of not being enough? The child is in deep need of being loved. Thankfully, you have the opportunity now to say something to that child. What would you say? What would you do? Can you see that you've always been worthy of love from the very first day you arrived? Can you see that everyone is equally worthy from the time they are born until the time they die? As a child, you may achieve very little, and yet you are still precious and worthwhile. And when you are old or ill, relaxed or asleep, or simply doing nothing, you are still worthy. Your worthiness cannot be measured. It can never change. During your lifetime, you may do bad things, but these things don't make you a bad person. Similarly, you may do good things, but these don't make you a good person. Your worth is always there, along with your potential to grow and learn from your mistakes. Since you cannot measure or change your worth, there's no point in being concerned about it. As best you can, let it go. You are enough, just the way you are, rather than seeking out your worth. Devote your time to learn, explore, grow, connect, and enjoy life. We cannot control whether other people appreciate us or accept us, but we can learn to accept ourselves. Now, if you're ready for it, if you can decide to make an intention to become more accepting of yourself, this is a moment in which you can decide to see yourself for who you are rather than what you believe you should be. To start with, allow yourself to be exactly who you are in this moment. How do you feel right now? Whatever you feel at this moment, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, allow it to be there. This is you at this moment, and that's okay. You're okay the way you are right now. Regardless of what you think or feel, just notice what goes on in your body. Maybe there is tension in your shoulders or pain in your stomach. Maybe you feel relaxed. Maybe you feel nothing at all. It's all good. If you want, you can say to yourself, it's okay. Whatever I feel, it's okay. Let go of the needs to mold your feelings into something different. This is you at this moment, and that's enough. Now finally, if you'd like, you may silently repeat the following phrases to yourself. May I accept myself for who I am right now. May I realize that my strengths don't mean that I am more than others. May I realize that my weaknesses don't mean that I am less than others. May I accept my imperfections. They don't define me or take away from who I am as a person. May I feel and deeply know that I am enough now and that I will always be enough, regardless of what happens. May I realize that I deserve to be loved now like I deserved to be loved when I was born. May I treat myself the way I treat those who I care deeply for. And for a moment, just bring your attention back to your breath. Still breathing in and out, down into your chest and out. And when you're ready, please open your eyes.